Welcome, welcome, welcome to Coffee with Tea, and I'm T. And as the world is spilling the tea, we're here to give you a full cup of encouragement and positivity. I'm extremely excited today to have an icon in the building. And you know me, if I say it's an icon, it's an icon. I am so excited to have the one and only fashion icon, entertainment icon, author, speaker, you name it, he's done it. And he is just a community activist. And we have Angelo Ellerbee in the building. Angelo Ellerbee is a trailblazing public relations icon and a celebrated figure in the entertainment industry. A Newark, New Jersey native, Ellerbee began his career in fashion, hosting shows and raising awareness for HIV and AIDS. Before transitioning into the world of publicity and artist relations, his work with super producer James and Tume propelled him into the music industry, where his sharp attention to detail and style became legendary. In 1985, Ellerbee founded Double XXposure Public Relations, guiding the careers of music icons like Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Dionne Warwick, and Shabba Ranks. His deep understanding of artist development, of fading art in the music world, made him a go-to for both rising stars and established artists. His finishing school approach, covering everything from media training to etiquette, ensured that his clients were prepared for success on the global stage. Ellerbee also served as VP of Publicity for Island Def Jam, elevating the careers of Dru Hill, Ronald Isley, and Karen Clark Sheard. He managed major talents including DMX, Genuine, and Laura Branigan, and led DMX Bloodline Records to significant success. An accomplished author, Ellerbee has penned bestsellers such as What's Your Excuse, Ask Angelo, and The Sense of Success. His television work included producing 4 shows for BET, including Harlem Hall of Fame, celebrating Harlem's cultural legacy. He remains a passionate advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. Known as the Henry Higgins of Hip-Hop and the Angel of Artist Development, Angelo Ellerbee is a true industry titan who continues to mold and inspire talent across the globe. Coming to the stage, I bring you Angelo Ellerbee.
Sweetheart, thank you so much for that incredible introduction. Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited about this. I'm sorry, I'm never nervous for an interview, and I just have to tell you, I'm just a little bit nervous. And the backstory, I met you many years ago with Deidre Tate. I don't know if you remember.
That's why your face looks so familiar when you came on. I was like, I know her.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, I met you at a Rough Riders event. Okay. And you were so special in the moment. And the thing that I remembered about you, not only your eloquent style, but your hands were beautiful. I mean, as a fashion icon.
Oh, thank you very much.
The hands were on point. I was like, okay, I need to step my game up.
That picture was a surprise. Oh my God.
Yes, I've been following you for a long, long time. Before that, but once I met you in person, and I thank Deidre. Deidre is a connector.
Yes.
Indeed. So I just want you to tell the people now. Your bio is more than that. I shortened it, but it's way more than that. But I had to read all of that so people understand your legacy. So people understand why we call you an icon. And this is not a game. We ain't playing games. A lot of people aren't calling themselves icons. But I want you to tell the people first anything that I missed in your bio that is key for you, for the people to know about Angelo, the person.
Yeah, I think you missed a couple things. One, I'm a lover of God. I am romantically in love with Angelo Ellerbee, which allows me to love other people and share my love. Those are the 2 missing pieces that's not included in what you read. I'm centered to understand of my struggles, my plights, my trials, my tribulations, and also my successes. I believe that everyone deserves to have chances. Not one chance, but chances. Because as people, we mess up. We do things wrong. We fall down. When we fall down, we have to ask ourselves, why did we fall down? How are we going to get ourselves back up? I just believe that we should not take people and throw them away. We shouldn't take our incarcerated because they did something when they were 15 years old. And I want them to be educated. I want them to come out in a new world, in a new head, in a new understanding of how to live life. I want those people who are living on the streets and living in boxes to get food every single day and to believe and know that they can make a change in their lives. I want that young kid that has figured out what his or her sexuality is about and start to love on themselves and not look at themselves going downhill, but look at themselves as going up and understanding the importance of self-love and self-motivation, upward mobility and advancement. I don't want people to keep looking at their mistakes, their life as mistakes, because it's more experiences that now, if you do it 4 and 5 times, then okay. But I think that we have to allow, I used to give out these imaginary maturity pills, and I would give them to my clients. And they would say, Angelo, what are you doing? I said, I'm giving you this imaginary maturity pill. I want you to get a big glass of water and grow up. You gotta grow up to be up. And you got to start loving who you are. Brothers, brothers, they into this thing about, everybody's so macho they can't love. You gotta love your brothers, your young brothers. You gotta become mentors to them. And for those fathers out there, it's okay for you to say to your son, hey man, I love you. I want the best for you. Everybody needs to be encouraged. And it's okay to say to that senior citizen, to that mother, to that grandmother, I love you, Mom. I love you, Grandma. These are the things that inspire people, makes them move, makes them go out and want to conquer the world. It did for me, and it did for my family and for my sisters. I just think that we cheat ourselves out of love.
Wow.
And we expect and we think our mothers and fathers love us because they give us food and clothes. No, I need to hear it. That was your responsibility. You don't have a responsibility to love me, but I want to hear it. I want to hear you tell me each and every single day, I love you. And that's one thing that my mom and I did.
Wow.
We would have whatever misunderstandings. At the end of the night, she would come in and say, I love my last born. I would say, I love my first mama.
Oh.
And we both would laugh and whatever. I just think that we're in a time now that love could possibly resolve a lot of our problems. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said many, many years ago that we must have our own. And I understood it back then. We have to have our own farms, our own cleaners. You see how everything breaks down into communities when you start to talk about Jews and Italian. Everybody has their own. What I'm trying to do, my little bit of advice and encouragement is for us to have our own.
Come on.
But we got to start with us.
Yes.
We got to start with you. We have not to be afraid to make that kind of movement.
Ooh.
We have to bring some togetherness to each other. We're the only class of people that's not doing that unified thing. We got to help each other. We really got to help each other. And we got to learn to be happy for each other. Be happy for someone. Everybody gets a turn.
Oh.
Everybody gets a turn.
I love that.
Be happy. Share happiness. And be happy for somebody else. You can be happy for somebody else. I know people sit back and say, oh, well, no. It's her time. It's his time. Applaud them. Say thank you. I'm glad that it happened for you. And want the same thing back for you.
That is so good. It is. If you just tuned in, you're tuned into Coffee with Tea. We are here with the icon, Angelo Ellerbee, and he is dropping nuggets already. So if you don't have a pen and a piece of paper, I'm going to encourage you to get it out right now because he is really about to set us free on today. So let's talk about growing up in Newark. Newark is a tough city. I'm an Essex County girl. My mama was a Rolling Stone, so we lived Irvington, East Orange, Newark, everywhere.
Oh, okay.
We lived, my mother just moved in the middle of the night. So I might have woke up in Orange and then woke up in Irvington. It ain't matter. She just did what she needed to do. So how was it? How did you navigate through the tough streets of Newark, New Jersey?
Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I always say Newark is an incredible city. It's always been very good to me. I think it's not about where you come from, it's where you are.
Ooh.
And for me, I was so in love with my mother and my sisters and my brother that they accepted me. So when they accepted me, that meant I can accept myself. And everybody outside of that box didn't matter.
Ooh.
It didn't matter. And I was a believer in me. So I was able to make people believe in me.
Ooh.
I think when you lessen your importance, it's lessened by those people who you want to be important for.
Oh.
My mother always said to me, "You're great because you're my child. And you're possibly greater because you're God's child. But I want you to go to be the greatest in what you go to do. And you can only be the greatest when you're focused. When you understand what sacrifice is about. When you don't give up. Because the same energy it takes for you to give up is the same energy for you to go on.
Oh.
So why don't we just go on and build up and encourage and fight those battles and fight those demons? So growing up in the city, I call Newark the greatest city in the world because it was for me, because mayors like Ken Gibson and Sharp James, they embraced me. You know, my degree is in design, so I started designing clothes for their wives. And that's what I did in the community. I designed clothes, blah, blah, blah. And so I made the community welcome me. You know, it was kind of difficult for anyone else that was living my lifestyle because they called them all kinds of names. But because I was so young and being creative, that's how screwed up the world is. They were willing to accept me. I didn't get called names, or if I did, I didn't hear it.
Ooh.
The key thing for me is your self-assurance of who you are. I didn't play those games. I didn't play those games. So you think, and so you think you can talk to me like that? No, you can talk to me like that. My name is Angelo Ellerbee. That's what it is. That's what's on the birth certificate. It ain't faggot. It ain't sissy. It ain't any of that. That's what you want to believe, then believe it. And let's find out who's who in the bigger picture of it all.
Uh-oh.
And so, you know, yeah, I am from Newark. And what comes with that is what comes with that. But I'm not fearful. I fear God. I don't fear no man. Woman, what am I fearing you for?
Ooh.
You can't stand in my way. I know my greatness. I know that I need to be a contributor. And I know I need to help people who don't understand many ways about living life. Let me explain it to you. And it starts with you. There's some reason that you have to call somebody out of their name. I have to put a question mark on your forehead. Why?
Oh.
Why?
So let's transition into this amazing book that you wrote. Wow, I read the book last night and I didn't know, I've been following you for a long time, like I said, but I did not know the extent of the people that you've worked with and the impact that you had on these people. So we have your book and it is Before I Let Go, Life Lessons from an Industry Guru by Angelo Ellerbee. And I read this book and I was inspired, motivated, but more than anything, let me tell you this, I felt held accountable for where I am in my life right now. Because we wake up in the morning a lot, Mr. Ellerbee. May I call you Angelo?
You could call me Angelo, yes.
We wake up a lot, Angelo, blaming the world for where we are, how we got there, who did this to us. And in this book, in this very book, if you have not read this book, you pulled our coattail and you snatched our edges and said, basically, you are where you are based on your choices and the way you allow people to treat you. So the message behind the book, let's talk about that. First, just let me know, where did you get the name? Because, you know, of course, when we hear Before I Let Go,
I know, Frankie Beverly, right?
Right. God rest his soul. And I know you worked with him, you've been around him. So tell us where the title of the book came from.
The title of the book came and was meant for me. Wasn't really meant for anyone else. It was really meant for me because I needed therapy. I needed that love. I needed to be poured into. I needed to have all of that. And as you go through life, you want to say, how can I get my feelings across to others? How many people are out here feeling unsung? How many people are out here feeling not loved? How many people are out here living alone? How many people out here are feeling non-accomplished? How many people? So let's tell the story. And I began to tell the story. And the story is very clear to me. You know, people see my life as a big success, but it's been not easy. I've been doing this for 55 years. So it's like, it was like an elevator ride or an escalator ride. That's why I choose not to get on them anymore. I take the steps. I take steps because I want to learn step by step by step. I'm learning. Anything instant, I don't like it. I don't like instant coffee. I like brewed coffee. Because with the brewed coffee, I can smell the aroma. I can put the right ingredients in. If I want cinnamon in it and granulate it. And I think that's the thing for us at this stage of the game. Everything is instant. And I always would talk to these young girls about Instagram. So what makes your breast look any better than somebody else's breast? So you put your breasts and your behind parts up on Instagram. Don't you think there's a million girls that's doing the same thing? Yours don't look no different than nobody else's, right? So what do you think you're going to get from that? Somebody's going to look at your behind parts and your breasts for 5 seconds, and they're going to go to the next person. But really, if you really love yourself and have an appreciation for yourself, you ain't got to do it. You ain't got to do it. There's something else that you could be doing instead of trying to get an instant success. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. And it's just really important that we take this kind of time and understand, invest in you, not your body, not the bikinis, invest in you. Pour into yourself. Begin to love you. Make an avenue, a street, a highway, especially designed for you, that you can go down.
Wow, that is powerful. And I have to say, congratulations on a street being named after you in Newark, New Jersey. That is really, really big. No, like seriously, you know, we don't give our icons, our industry leaders, the people who matter, the people who care about us, their flowers until they're no longer here when it's too late. So I say thank you for not only your contribution to the industry, but your contribution to your community first, your contribution to the things that matter to you most. And why is it so important for you to give back to the community, to go back to these young women, to talk to these young men, to help them to embrace themselves? When you have gotten to a certain plateau in your career, a lot of people just move on and they go to the house in the hills and they just live their life. Why is it so important to you to serve?
Because somebody gave it to me. Someone gave to me, someone gave to my mother, someone gave to my grandmother. Wow. And there was a gentleman, and and Mtume gave so much to me. Freely. His wife gave so much to me freely. Don't we believe that we have to give something back? It doesn't have to be materialistic. It could be, look, a phone conversation to help somebody in their time of need. Taking someone for a walk and getting to know them better. Listen, it's just a way of giving back for me. I think that is really important, and particularly now in this time, so many young suicides are taking place.
Yes.
The drug scene is really running rampant. So if I can take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, I know the guy that helps me out, drives me around. We were in New York a couple of weeks ago. And I saw these three brothers. One was in a box, one was sitting on a stool, and one was digging in a garbage can, right? So I asked them to pull over. And even the guy that drives me is Spanish. And sometimes I have to really break it down so he understands what I'm saying to him. So I asked the guys to come to the car. And so I looked over at Rolando, and he was getting a little nervous. I said, I'm good. You can sit right there. I'm good. So the guys came over, and I gave them, I think it was $10 or $20 a piece. This lady said to me, why are you doing that? I said, because it's my money. She said, well, all they're going to do is go buy. But ma'am, that's not my business. And it's just like it ain't your business. I don't care what they do with it. It's good to give. This is good to give. Because look, hell, it could have been me. Could have been me. Could have been my father. Could have been my brother. It's somebody's child. And guess what? Hell, they could have been lawyers, doctors. We don't know why they're in this situation. And it ain't my business to know it. But it is my business to care about my culture. It is my business to care about my people.
And in your book, you say, on this note, this segues right into it. It says, fame doesn't change you. It magnifies the person you truly are. Yeah,
I believe that.
And to pull over and not be afraid. I mean, we live in some crazy time, and a lot of times, I see people and I'm like, should I give them a ride? Are they going to get in the car and shank me? You know what I mean? And I'll keep going. But then during the day, I'll feel like maybe I should have gave that person a ride. And you talk about discernment. Yeah. Like zero in on that just a little bit, because your discernment told you I'm safe. And why do you trust why do you trust yourself?
I'm just a believer in God. I do believe in God. I just believe in God. I love God. God has guided me. I trust in him, and he trusts in me, and I'm no more than a vessel of his work and his word. But what am I going to be afraid of? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Right? Whoa. I can't stop what's going to happen, but I can prevent and prepare somebody else to get better, do better, just by $20. That $20 was probably like $2,000 to them.
Come on.
And what was I was going to go buy something with $60. So it makes no sense to me.
Wow, you was going to buy something that probably food or something or whatever, and you just changed a life. And I totally believe that too, Angelo, that it's the little things that we do that change people's lives. We're so into social media and the number game. We're so into being popular. We're so into seeing how many people are going to see us that we forget that if we just change one person's day, that we've changed the world.
There you go.
And you're a world changer, and I love that about you. You also said this is your last book. I can't believe that. I believe there's more.
Everyone is saying it to me. I may do a memoir book, but that's about it.
Okay.
There's so many things that I want to possess. You know,
Yes.
so many things that I just want to do.
Yes.
And I think that now's the time for me to do them. You know, I've always wanted to get into film and TV. I mean, I've done some, but I now want to direct movies and TV series. And those are the avenues that I'm trying to go into at this point. I want to give myself a chance.
Wow.
To do what it is that I set out to do at this stage of my life.
Wow. Do you think, now people don't know, like you said M2 like it was like, you know, I had M2 you know, and you just went on.
Sorry.
For those of us who are Generation X and beyond, when we hear M2 we like, you was hanging with M2 And when we hear names like DMX and Mary J. Blige and Aretha Franklin and Dionne Warwick, it's like, yo, dude, you really, like, you've been in rooms with people and your spirit is not on this high horse of, and like I said to you before we came on, when you said you would do this, I was like, oh my God, you know, I was like, you know, because I talk to people who don't know or have done not even an eighth of what you've done. And they won't come on and get an interview. They're like, oh, you know, they check the numbers and everything. So to know that you've been in this industry, and there's a list here in the back of your book. And I just think there's another book because you left me with a cliffhanger. For me, it was a cliffhanger. I don't know about the rest of the folks because I wanted more. I was like, what? Where the rest? But then when I saw the caliber of the people that you've worked with, I just have to say some of them because people just need to know who I'm sitting with. Like, this is not play. So the artists of Double Exposure, A.G., Albie Shore, Alonzo Blackwell, American Gangster starring Denzel Washington, the film, Angela Winbush, ASCAP, Beanie Man, Benzino, Beverly Johnson, Brownstone, Blaze, Brenda K. Starr, China Black, Chris LeBoy, and I'm skipping around, Christopher Williams, Chubb Rock, Columbia Records, Comfort Zone, Craig Mack, DMX, Donald Lawrence, gospel artist, producer, Dr. Teresa Austin, Dru Hill, Egypt Sherrod, and all of these people, Foxy Brown, Frank Lucas, American Gangster, Frankie Beverly, Genuine, Grace Jones, Horace Brown, Jade, M2 Janet Hubbard, the actress from Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and so much more, the dancer, Jeff Red, Jelly Bean. This is my life. Like, this is my life of all of the people that I would only dream of being in a room with. Lady Red, LaShawn Merritt, Laura Branigan. Hold on, let me just go. I'm gonna go a little bit more. LC, Lieutenant Stickley, Llewellyn Jenkins, Loud Records, Luther Uncle Campbell, Mark Riley, Melba Moore, Mary J. Blige, Michael Jackson, Most Def, Music Soul Child, Nancy Wilson, Naomi Campbell. I could just go on and on and on. We only to end, and then alphabetical order. So I'm like, the humble that you sit in when you could use these names. But again, when you said fame doesn't change you, it magnifies the person who you are. So the state of the industry right now, the state of the entertainment industry, what's the biggest difference you see now from then? And what do you believe needs to change right now in the industry?
Well, I don't know if it's changed or if it's to be inclusive. I think that artist development.
Please say that.
Yeah, I think that these kids today are into record development.
Oh,
they're going to get ready for the record, but not for the artistry in itself. I would like to see them begin to include the importance of artist development. And some of the things that I would like to see them do is get into taxation, get into publishing, get into their splits, their recoupments. These are the things that throw us because we're not prepared for it. We always want our managers to deal with it. I don't listen. Ain't nobody managing my money but me.
One more time for the youngins in the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the kids today will talk to my manager. So why am I talking to the manager? I'm talking to you.
Come on.
And I want you to understand the importance of your business. Some of us go to jail because we have not paid our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that you got to be really clear with, is making sure your business is being handled. And so when you start talking about your publishing, I look at things like that as your Social Security benefits. This is something that you can always draw off of. But if you're not handling it, you're going to get a stipend as opposed to the kinds of money that you made. You got to be on point to understand your percentages, your splits, your recoupments. All of those count just like the money that goes in the bank. What you spend out, you need to know what you're spending out. Then you need to know what's going in. You need to understand your business. Some of our artists are still working today because they didn't handle their business.
Oh.
You know, and then we want to talk about one-time artists, one single, one-hit wonders. That's because no one was developing and working with them and showing them what longevity could be. And what you got to understand that you're the commodity. I'm the commodity. I'm going to sell me some me so that I can benefit. I am not going to be the commodity for you to get something and I'm not getting anything. That's because you trust. You trusted somebody to do this, your accountant and your manager. You got to know what it takes to have a team of people. I believe very much in engagements in terms of working relationships, courtships. I want to give that manager some time to know me and for me to know them. I want to find out what your qualifications are, who you handle, what's your success story, what did you do so fantastic that I should have you to take me to the next level. I want to ask my accountant about the taxes situation. I want to know what your job is, because when you are dealing with a courtship, that's fine, because it's just you paying the dollar and cent to them, and you're paying them. They're paying you, and they're watching over the dollars. So that's fine, because it's like one in and one out, but there's no signed agreements. But when you get into marriage, and that's when after that engagement, they got you for 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
And if you don't do your homework, you're going to be paying them forever in the day. And if you didn't read the contract, you got to read the contract with the lawyer. And if you don't understand it, tell them to break it down to a third grade level so you can understand what your commitment is. Wow. There's a commitment in those contracts. And some people don't think you read them. You need to
understand. Some people don't read them.
And they don't read them because they can't read. And so what I say is go to your lawyer and say, man, you need to break this down for me. What is this? I mean, give it to me in a language that I can get. You need to understand what you have signed away on.
Right, exactly. Because we see so many artists from back in the day who blamed everybody else. And that's one thing I love about the book. The book is like, they didn't do anything to you that you didn't allow them to do. You the one that didn't read the contract. Exactly. You the one that didn't know what recoup means. Yes. When at the end of the day, you driving around in cars and renting mansions and spending all this money. And then when it comes down to it and the money comes in, yes. You owe for the car that you've been driving for a year. Yeah. You owe for the house. And if you don't understand that, then you can't blame anybody but you and your circle. So while we're talking about this, let's talk about the importance of knowing where to place people in your life. For instance, like a mentor, a coach, a friend, associate. How do you place these people in your life? And how important is it to separate friendship? You know, some people got their husband or their friend as their manager or somewhere on the payroll. How do you separate that without making people feel bad, or do you just do it and make them feel bad?
First, I take the word friend and I split it in the middle. If you split the word friend, you get END. It's
Oh.
going to end, right? That friendship
Yes.
is going to end when you start to say, we're going to be partners. You're going to manage me. No. I like my mother to be my mother, my father to be my father. Now, do I want them to oversee, supervise, and or learn what management is? Yes, I do. I don't want them coming. I'm not a test tube. So therefore, I want you to learn. I don't have a problem with my mother and my father being in my career, but from a side, learn everything that you need to learn. So once you get and you start to take the lead of my career, you have the knowledge, you know the lawyers, you know the accountants, you know what makes that manager, and why they get what they get. So I always say, and I'm very skeptical about friends being in my business.
Oh.
Can't have it, won't have it. Because you're my friend today. I don't know what you're going to be tomorrow.
Oh, and somebody needed to hear that.
I think that's where we mess up at.
Yes.
We always want to take our friends and make them a part of our business. No, that's a no-no for me. Oh. And I tell artists, don't do that. It's good to have a confidant. Yeah, you could have a confidant, someone that you want to share this with, share that with, blah. That's all great. But when it comes down to business, know your business. Take time for your business.
Yes, we are in a social media era.
Well, yeah.
And these are my words, not Angelo's words. These are my own words. I was in the music business for a long time. I worked on the D-Drat Flavor Unit.
Okay.
And you had to have talent to be an artist. And right now it's a popularity contest. So we're seeing real artists who are talented, naturally talented, being looked over because people have built a following on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and the greedy people are snatching those people up for instant microwave. Now that there are no gatekeepers, right? Because I know artists from back in the day who were better than the artists that are out now, big artists, big name artists, and they didn't get their just dues. Now that there are no gatekeepers, how does that change the game for talented artists?
You know what I love? I love that I get the opportunities to work with Melba Moore, who was out there once in a big way.
Yes.
And then things just changed. I love it when I can see Robert Cool Bell and Kool and the Gang was humongous, and then come back and reinvent the wheel. Yes. I just believe in chances. And I think that they have experienced and learned and have grown from the trials and the mistakes of a career. And now they're back out there knocking them dead.
Yes.
You know, it's the same thing with Miss Warwick. These people are working more than they worked back in their heyday because now they got it. Now they understand what it is that they have to continue to do. Now they're very protective about what comes in and what goes out, who's in their life and who's not in their life.
So these artists nowadays, they don't understand longevity. They're microwave artists. Like you said, Miss Warwick, Melba Moore, Boyz II Men, Kool and the Gang. They can do residencies from the number of hits that they had. They can do residencies from being primed and artist development and rehearsing.
Yes.
You had to rehearse to do a show back in the day. You wasn't just jumping on no stage and somebody letting you get up there. You had to really know what you're doing. So what is the key to longevity that you see? Because the artists that we name that you work with, the majority of them have longevity and they still out here doing it. What was the key ingredient for longevity that you saw?
You know what? I have to look at a Beyonce and a Diana Ross. And what I say that is because Beyonce gives you a show.
Right.
There's a costume change. There is choreography. She gives you a show and people all around the world. Diana Ross, the same thing. And it goes on and on and on. It's what you put in is what you get out. She had a mother and a father who orchestrated success for her, kept her in the game, kept her at rehearsals. All these things become important. You know, as today, it's so funny. When I was working with X and them, I used to say, "Oh, you gonna go upstairs and change your clothes?" You talking about? I would say, "Oh, you just go out there?" Yeah. What I know. I don't know. I think it's what you put in. I think you have to really, really say, "This is what I want to do, and I'm going to be original in my music. I'm not going to follow after anyone. I'm not going to try to be another Beyonce. I'm not going to try to be. I'm going to be who I am, and that's to be original, right?"
Yes.
And then I'm going to prepare something that people were not used to, which is
you are so in my head. You are like this. This is my notes, right? I didn't even ask you this question, but you stop getting ahead of me because you know what you're doing. Because you know exactly what you're doing. And my next note on my notes, because I'm Generation X, so my notes is printed out. But it says originality, innovators, copycats, authenticity. How do you even know who you are? How do you know your real voice, Angela? Like, how do you know when you're not copying? You understand what I'm saying? Like right now, how do I know I'm my original self and it's not a voice in my head from my mama? Or how did Angelo know this is Angelo and this is not my mother telling me who I should be, the industry telling me who I should be, but this is the original, authentic Angelo Ellerbee. How do we know that?
Well, you know that because I just told you that. And I'm not going to copy me. I don't want to copy me. I just want to be original. You're going to accept me for me. Graciously, I say. I'm not living two lives. I'm not going to sing falsetto. I'm going to be who I am. I don't care if you like it or if you don't like it. If you don't like it, close the door.
Wow.
You don't have to hear me. You don't have to see me. You don't have to feel me. I am original.
Wow.
I will stand out. I do take chances. I'm not afraid. That's my being original.
Wow. It's scary. It's really, really scary to be. It took me, I'll be 55 next month.
God bless.
It took me literally, I think I started to be me at 47. Like seriously, I think I really like myself right now. Like I really don't care. I mean, it's not like I don't care. I'm gonna go outside and I look crazy or any, but I really don't care anymore. And for so long, I wore this mask. I was trying to be a puzzle piece to fit in. And I'm just like, who am I? Where's the authentic me?
There you
go. So one day I just really woke up and I was just like, I just want to wear this.
Yeah.
Does it look crazy? I don't know. I'm just gonna go outside. And one day a friend of mine said, we were going out. She was like, what are you wearing? And I was like, why are you worried about what I'm wearing? And that was a moment I felt like, why is she worried about what I'm wearing? Is she going to wear what I wear? Because why would we want to be Twinkies? Like a pack of Twinkies. Like it just hit me that day. I'm like, I'm going to put this on. And I wasn't a girl that wore colors. It was just like black. And I worked with a stylist. She was like, you going to wear this yellow jumpsuit to your book signing. And that's it. So that authenticity and just finally knowing who I am. And the thing about the artists nowadays, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because this is what really driving me crazy with the female rappers, the girl singers. I can't tell, and I won't say names, but I can't tell this one from that one. Back in the day, we knew when it was Dionne Warwick. We knew when it was Aretha Franklin. We knew when it was Melba Moore. We knew when it was Diana Ross. We knew when it was Mary J. Whitney, Mariah, Anita Baker.
Yeah.
How do we get that back? Like, what happened?
I think there's a spin around with R&B music coming back into the form.
Oh, yes.
I really do. I believe that it's slowly but surely going to engage. We're going to be engaged by that music again, slowly but surely. I think that everything has a turn. And you know, it's just like not throwing out that coat because you know that coat's going to come back in style, right? It's this whole music scene. I believe and want to believe that we're going to fall in love again with R&B music. I think that I think it's just clear that something like that would happen at this stage of the game.
I believe you.
Yeah, I believe wholeheartedly that's what's about to happen.
You know why I believe you? I believe because I think that you are a person who sees what's coming next. And that's just a special gift to know what's coming in the future and to know when these things are going to turn around, to be prepared. So are you going to be doing much more artist development in the future? Do you see that?
Oh yeah, you know, I'm open for artist development. I do a 2-hour session. I think it's all on my website, the list of the various classes in which I teach. I also lend myself to help people with an understanding, to get an understanding about their publishing. I try to align them to the right people.
Yes.
Those are the things. I mean, I get nothing from it. I don't want nothing from it. I just want them to get their business correct. So yeah, artist development will always be at the top of my list.
Oh, okay. So we know that you work with Mary J. Our time is winding down quickly, but I still have questions. So we know that you work with Mary J. and you spoke of her humble beginnings and how she expanded into her authentic self.
Yes.
When you see an artist, and I know she probably should be paying for this, but I just want to know your thoughts on this a little bit. When you see an artist like Cardi B, what do you attribute to her success, and what would you suggest her next move be from an iconic standpoint of you watching people grow into their next?
First of all, I love her and I adore her.
Yes.
I think she is 100% real. I totally don't believe there anything. I think her audience is because she's so open and honest and she's original.
Right.
I love that voice. I love the fact that she's not afraid. She's gonna put it on, and don't care about you. That's what I'm talking about, being original and not being a copycat. Because you speak about Carly B today.
Right.
Not the girl who's trying to emulate Carly B. We're talking about Carly B. So she's original, and that's what it all takes. It takes being original. I think that in time she's going to turn into be a great actress.
Wow.
I really do. I believe that she's going to be a great actress.
Wow.
She has that ability.
Okay.
She's a very smart businesswoman.
Yes. And I look at her and I'm just like, wow, like to come from a stripper pole to
Listen, let me tell you. Let me try to tell you, that girl is smart.
Yes.
I tell you, she's smart. That's right. Just like you were saying, she come from a stripper pole to where?
A millionaire.
To all over the world. Everybody knows.
All over. Yes. And the way we see people go on different reality shows, the way she leveraged that. And we see other people on those reality shows that were there way before her who didn't leverage it effectively.
And they're still there.
Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think that one person's fortune is not another person's fame?
Because it's not, but it's pulling together your team. And the team is everything. Team is going to say, I think we outgrowed this. We need to stop. And then you have people who make a living off of that. That's all they do is go do the reality shows. I think it wears you out. It doesn't allow you to grow. But I mean, if you are artists of yesteryear and this is a place that you're able to make an income, I understand. But you need to grow. I think you need to brand yourself. I think, like I love Candy Barris because she's fantastic to me. She took her time on that reality show and blossomed. She planted seeds all over the world. She planted them in production and film and movies, restaurants, the whole other bit, the candy panties. This is what I'm talking about. And then what did she say? Enough is enough. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, and you have to know when to sunset something before it becomes a thorn in your side.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to ride the wave of what they're used to. And you talk about reinventing yourself. How do you begin to reinvent yourself in your own mind?
I think, well, first for me, it's prayer, and then it's just movement. Prayer, movement. Don't be afraid. What do you have to be afraid of? You know, and that's it. I know this. My dear friend June Ambrose, who hosted my street rename, it said to me, "You've had 9 lives." And I'm like, yeah, I guess I have had 9 lives, June. You have to really, if you believe it, then you can do it. And I think it's self-determination. I just think you got to get out your own way. So many people block their own blessings. They don't even understand that they're blocking their own. I just let it flow. I just let it flow and do what I need to do.
You spoke about discernment and you said trust it when it whispers before it has to yell. That was so prevalent to me, that discernment. Trust it while it whispers before it has to yell. Can you break that down just a little bit?
It is just what it is. Really, it's just what it is. It can't be broken down. It is what it is. People got to, you know what? People got to begin to really, really understand and know who they are and who you bring in your life. Who's up in there? Who's stopping you from doing what you want to do? You can't do. I'm not being responsible. I'm going to put myself around people who are going to say, you go ahead and do it. Do it. We got you. We got you. We got you. We got you. That's what it is. Yeah, it is really yeah, it is.
Please let us know. So our time is winding down, but can you tell everybody where they can get the book, what's next for you, and how can people work with you seriously?
The book you can purchase on Amazon. It is, I think we're still at #1 in 4 different categories this week. It may have changed. You can go to dxxnyc.com. All of my social media is Double Exposure NYC. I like talking to people, and I know people say, you're crazy. If they want to talk to me, I'm going to give you my office number, which is 201-224-6570. I'm open to talk to people. And that's how we're going to help people. That's how we're going to grow our culture. Yeah.
And what's next for Angelo?
I'm on this book tour, which is going to last a minute. I am going out to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Miss Warwick. And I'm going to do a little touring with her for maybe the next 4 or 5 months. So nothing. It's one thing that they're doing, though, BET is doing for me. They're doing a documentary on my life. And we start taping that, I think, when I get back from Miss Warwick. So we start taping that. So I'm excited about that.
That is so exciting. That is going to be so good. If you have not read the book, I need you to go get this book today. I really need you to go and get Before I Let Go by Angelo Ellerbee. And I need you to read this book, and I need you to receive everything that he is saying in his book. And I promise you, it is going to change your life. I read the book, and there were moments that I was in tears because you gave me permission to be great without restriction. And so many of us feel restricted in being great because of comparison. And I just want to thank you for just really authentically being you. I want to thank you for sharing your mom and the messages that she gives in this book. I want to thank you for sharing your sisters and knowing that they had your back. And it's hard for everybody right now. And for you to go out and just spread the joy and be willing to talk. Because I don't know if you know the caliber of who you are, right? And we get around celebrities and stars, and they can be standoffish because of the caliber of who they are. But your greatness is a bright light to many of us. You are a light at the end of my tunnel. I don't know about anybody else's, but I thank you for your book. And one last thing to the young people who are listening, I want you to just talk about, it's always fun to be in the front of the stage, but you've changed so many lives behind the scenes. Everybody wants to be the Kobe, but everybody forgets about the Phil Jackson. Everybody wants to be the Mary J., but everybody forgets about the Angelo Ellerbee, because they would not be without you guys. So talk to the young people who are devastated that they're not in the front.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you, being in the back is where the money's at.
Oh.
I just, you know, I've never wanted to be in the foreground. I wanted to aid and assist and enhance and encourage those who were in the foreground. I never looked at my job as the background vocalist. I was not Florence Ballett or Mary Wilson. I always looked at myself in my capacity as a leader and one that's responsible to get them from point A to point B. It takes a village to make all this stuff happen. It's not just that person on that stage. It's that manager. It's that publicist. It's all of those people, and everybody's job is important. You know, it's like Thanksgiving. Somebody brought the turkey. Somebody brought them. Everybody comes to the table with something. So you don't feel less of important. Feel very important, because you're leading your particular department to great success.
That is so good. Everybody doesn't have to be on the cover of the magazine, because there will be no magazine without the editor. There will be no magazine without the printer. There will be no magazine without the writers. I just want to encourage young people that looking at you, even though you were on the stage modeling, but looking at you transition into knowing that wherever I'm at, I'm important.
Yeah.
I'm as important as I make myself.
There you go. Yes.
And that's what I love about this book, because the book says you are as important as you make yourself. Now, if you feel like you're just an accountant or you're just a teacher, then you're just that. But if you feel like I am the greatest accountant, I am the greatest teacher, I'm the greatest publicist, you are the greatest in your capacity. And I thank you for freeing us. Now, before we go, can I give you 3 words and you just tell me what these words bring to mind for you? Sure. Success.
Haven't experienced it yet.
Woo! I can't. You done dropped the mic. You can't do that to me, Angelo. Wow. Loyalty.
Everything to me.
Oof.
Loyalty means everything to me. And when I find you not, I'm done. Loyalty means everything in the world to me.
Yeah, you tell a story in a book about a famous model that somebody changed their entire life by just being nasty, and you never was able to deal with that person again.
No, never.
And that is key. You know, when people tell you, show you who they are, believe them. And so many times we don't. And the last word that I'll give you is mother.
Love them. Be thankful. Cherish them. Provide for them. Give them. Hug them. Appreciate them.
Any final words for anybody listening?
Fall in love with you. Learn to be in love with you. Spend some time with you. You will find yourself really, really in love. So that is a wonderful thing, to have time with you, spend time with you, and start loving on yourself.
Thank you so much. Is anybody that you would like to thank on your team while we're here?
I like to thank God, because that's what got me at this desk today, because yesterday I was out doing 2 book meet and greets. And then I had a dinner that I had to host last night.
Oh.
So I am sitting here in this chair, in this jean jacket, with every strength in my body. So I'm thankful to everyone that brings it my way. my Kevin, all of the people that work with me and for me. So yeah, I'm always thankful to them.
And I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for your talent. And I thank you for keeping your word by being here, because you could have said, I'm tired. You reschedule. So I thank you so much for all that you're doing. And I look forward to seeing you again. And I look forward to the bestseller. And I will be promoting this book. And again, I want you guys to go out and purchase Before I Let Go by Dr. Angelo Ellerbee. I speak doctor in your future because the Holy Spirit just told me doctor.
Oh my
I need
God.
y'all to go get this book on Amazon right now from the good doctor.
Thank you so very much. You have a blessed, blessed, blessed day.
Thank you so much. So thank you again, guys, for tuning into Coffee with Tea. We thank you. We thank Mr. Angelo Ellerbee for being here and giving us a full cup of positivity. And we'll see you next time on Coffee with Tea. And that's me. Peace and blessings.